Okay, so we're going to take a look at graphing exponential functions. And when we did this work on page 610, we found that we noticed the difference between graphing lines, graphing parabolas, or it's coming up graphing parabolas, and graphing exponential functions. And what we found was that when we have something like that, it could be that, it could be this, it could be this. Anything that has an x to the power of 1, we found that that was linear. And any time we had anything with an x to the power of 2, didn't matter what, we found that it was quadratic and a parabola. And any time we had anything to the power of x, so y equals 2 to the x, y equals a half to the x. It didn't matter what it was. If the x was up in the exponent, we knew that it was going to be an exponential function with a line looking like this, of course, of some kind of line, a parabola looking like this, or something like that, and an exponential function going through 1, looking something like this, or like this. That's what we did, right? Okay. Then we took a look at how to figure out if something is linear or quadratic with first differences, and we here we are. And we subtracted the x, the y values, and if they were all the same, then we knew that it was linear. And when we did this, and we found the first differences were not the same, but the second differences, or the differences of the first differences, were the same, that it was quadratic, or x to the power of 2. Then, that's what we found out there. Then we did a bunch of word problems with all of that, and then we moved into exponential functions, and we noticed that the steeper the graph, even though it goes through 1 on the y-axis, the steeper the graph, we knew, based on the bigger the number, that was the base, as long as these bases were bigger than 1. And for the bases that were between 0 and 1, we had the same situation, but between 0 and 1 it goes like this, as opposed to greater than 1, the shape is like that. Okay, what else do I have here for you? More practice of what we've talked about. Then we did half-lives and talked about that. And word problems with exponential functions, more problems looking at if it's quadratic, linear, or exponential. And then we were done with our exponential chapter.